I wanted to go into slides, but I wanted to also look a little bit into the ebook. Chapter 7, we're on 6, and then we'll go into chapter 7. Chapter 7 is treatment room. So again, we're back on consultation, but think about this when we talk about treatment room and you got firsthand experience. How do you want them to feel when they come in? That's how you should address it. How do I want them to feel when they come in? And you put yourself in those shoes. That's the practical component. How do I want them to feel when they come in? And you think about it. This person has had a long day at work. They're coming to you straight from work. Busy mom, also, 4 or 5 kids, and her sanctuary is at your spot. What do we want to do? What do we want them to feel? And a lot of times, and this is really true, people are not coming to these establishments because they've heard that it's the best. They want to experience it. And that experience sells everything. So how would you want them to experience a first time or a repeat time? And when they come for the first time, the repeat is the easy because they bragged about it. Their experience is still fresh. They want that again. And it's so many times. I can take fries, for instance. People love fries, but you get a place that don't do good fries, you'll never go back again. And so if there's some consistency in how you make them feel, they're going to share that traditional word of mouth, and that's what's going to keep them coming back in. So all the social marketing and things like that, that's work, that's amazing, but people want to experience. They want to experience the sure thing. So how do we want that treatment room when they walk in? Even at the front desk, what do you want them to feel? You may have already had this conversation. So that's what I want you to think about as we begin to go in and finish up 6, is just moving a little forward into 7. How do we want them to feel? So we're moving into the treatment room. Let's see this. How do I move this off my screen? Hold on one moment, I'm preparing to share. I went ahead and logged into our Milady class. We were on some waxing this morning, so I had to change textbooks. Here we go. Okay. And we did a great intro yesterday. We closed out on some popular terms, natural, up here. Yeah, so we closed out on some popular terms. We talked about adverse reactions, patch test, how to handle the patch test. This is a great example of doing it in the fold of the elbow or behind the ear. The negative components of a patch test would be signs of infection, redness, swelling, heat, throbbing. Anytime you will see those, that person is likely cannot use that ingredient or use that product. We'll have to go with an alternative. And I'm not used to this slide. I'm just moving. Okay. And as we prepare to move into ingredient sources and popular terms, we were learning some of the terms as far as organic, natural versus synthetic ingredients. Natural ingredients is what I love to use. Some of my popular ingredients, I like to take herbs and ground them. I would not consider myself an herbalist because I only use certain herbs. I'm not one I really just I have barriers. I don't go deep into herbalism. I like to use stuff that you can, they have access to. I can grow in my backyard. All right. So ginger, turmeric, and just learned that ginger oil was great for inflammation. So I made a oil for my mom. I said, we're gonna be rubbing them knees down so you can get the walking. So I just that's a new oil that I discovered, ginger oil that I'm infusing. So things that I can grow in my backyard and just go to just have a basic, pick up lemons, oranges, thyme, rosemary, those type of herbs is what I like to use. And it's always a repeat of those in a lot of my products that I make. Um, some herbs, some flowers, plants, hibiscus, sunflowers. All of those are great. Avocado oil, infused avocado oil. That's what I like to do. Light, bright. I don't really go into the darker end of herbalism. I'm just not one of those type of persons that dabble on that end, if you know what I mean. But I like to keep it fun, fresh, and everything just natural. If I want to smell a particular scent, I'm gonna always counteract things with essential oils. And if I want particular colors, I'm gonna use plant powder. And so 9 times out of 10, if I want something red or something pink, I use beet powder, something orange or something yellow. I use a little turmeric, and so on and so on. Um, so that does bring me to limits. Okay. Aloe can be brown or it can be green, depending on what manufacturer you're getting it from. But I have not grown any aloe myself. So it just really depends on where you get it from. So I like all natural ingredients. I don't like fragrances. I don't even, if something is labeled like a soap or candle fragrance, I cannot use it because it may have an adverse reaction on the skin. Synthetic ingredients, advantages, what we have to look at here, it's more of those ingredients, but again, we don't know where we're getting. I always tell my students, a lot of things are being printed 3D. And so from foods down to whatever. I know I read something that said the wheat was 3D. I got to research the sugar in the Coke was modified or something of that nature. So you have to look at it's already in the food. So definitely you're going to see it in ingredients as well. And then a combination of the two. So it's really learning your ingredients. And so when you're going with a new company, always finding out what are the source of their ingredients. Where do they source that from? And it gives you a little bit more information. Some popular terms that we like to see on packages: natural, all natural, organic, cruelty free, and vegan. And we said last night or night before, people want like vegan restaurants, but really I think vegan restaurants are going a little bit too far. Vegan, nothing comes from animals. And so even them taking the food like cauliflower and making it look like a steak, I said that's like, mind tricking me that it's a steak. I don't even want to remember that I used to eat steak. But sometimes vegan can go a little too far when it comes to the foods. But now you do have vegan ingredients and they create vegan products. Check out Farm Fresh, Aesthetic, Product Eminence. I do know both of those companies have farms, and I really have tried their products. I absolutely love their products. And Eminence can be a little expensive, but you know why they're expensive? Because of the fresh farm to product, what they call it, farm to table. It is really, really fresh. Gluten-free, hypoallergenic, dermatologist tested, non-irritating. So when you see these popular terms on the containers, and remember this is just a recap, they should tell you something. Hypoallergenic, okay, really something that does not cause your skin to irritate, should not be causing any redness, no inflammation, so no irritating. And then we see non-comedogenic and comedogenic. Products that would say non-comedogenic, it simply means does not cause a buildup inside of the pore, like blackheads, whiteheads will not cause a buildup. And it will probably also say, it will tell you that the molecule is small, okay, which means if a molecule is small and then you continue to rub it, you rub it in between your hands, that cream, you break it down, it becomes smaller and smaller. All right, so it's easier for the skin to absorb it. But when you have larger molecules, such as coconut oils and things of that nature, larger molecules, you can rub it all day long. You still put it on the skin, it's still too big to go down that pore. And so it'll sit at the top or in the middle and won't travel all the way down. And so that's where we would have clogged pores. So comedogenic is the cause, could be the cause of sometimes people having breakouts, pimples, things of that nature, a spread of acne, because comedogenic, the molecule can be larger and the number could be higher that causes these breakouts. Popular terms also you can check out is unscented and fragrance free. Okay. Although remember that FDA does not give just a statute. You don't have to take your product through the FDA. They're just going to have the statute of things you need to follow. Okay. So making sure the packaging is where it needs to be and making sure that what you say is actually the product does exactly what it's supposed to do. More for us, I do prefer fragrance free for my skin type. I have a sensitive skin type. Um, it is dry, it is combination and sensitive. And so with my skin type, I need a lot of moisture. Okay. I need a lot of hydration. And the winter months do real havoc on me, but I haven't had a microdermabrasion in a while. So I need to get rid of some old dead skin cells. And I need, at least before it get cold, some type of peel. Okay. I may be too late, but I need some type of peel. And then unscented. I haven't added any additional artificial ingredients. Whatever we mix, whatever we got, that's exactly what it is. And we're going to describe the type of ingredients in cosmetic chemistry. And this is where the key component comes in that we need to study. Okay. There's also a delivery of these ingredients as well. So if you're the purchaser, the one that has to purchase the products, you're going to the trade show, and trade show season is upon us. March, there's a trade show this weekend in Chicago, ABS, I think. So trade show season is upon us. This is where a lot of individuals go out, check out new products, get more training on the products that they have. This is where companies also start to launch the 2026 products and campaigns. So you're going to see more and more systems that are going to be advertised. But one thing it comes down to is all of that fanfare is amazing, but let's talk about the products. Let's talk about the ingredients, okay? And so here we have product labeling, laws and regulations. Let's look at it just a little bit. Water, the type, it has the ingredient, then it has the type, and then it has an example. Water is a vehicle, it's a solvent, and it is an example is water. So what if this is saying, you may also see water as aqua. It's a vehicle. The water can carry other ingredients where it needs to go. Okay. It's a vehicle. It can carry other ingredients where it needs to go. But also, water is a universal solvent, which means water can dilute the strength of whatever you add it to. All right. And so, even though it carries, you have to be careful that you don't minimize the product that you are adding the water to, or you're adding the product to the water. All right. So, water is a delivery, it's a vehicle that carries other ingredients to other areas. Emollients, oils, fatty acids, fatty alcohols, fatty esters, silicones. It helps gives us shine. Jojoba oil, olive oil, sesame oil, mineral oil. All right. Those are emollients. Emollients are great to use with like our creamy moisturizers. You can add them to masks. You may see these in from serums to moisturizers. Okay. Surfactants. A surfactant is simply a detergent, also considered a cleanser. All right. So surfactants, they actually have these lipolipids, and they tug just like a washing machine or tug of war. And then they push and pull dirt, push and pull dirt, push and pull dirt. All right. And so detergents and emulsifiers. All right. Emulsifiers, we talk about a term emulsification. It's a blending and a softening. So when we take in a product like a moisturizer, you can put it, or just take a cleanser, put it in your hands. When you take it and put it in between your hands, that friction creates warmth. But what it's also doing with that product in between your hands, the more you move it, you are emulsifying that product, which means you're breaking it down to the smallest molecule. Okay. So this is why sometimes you don't just take the product out the jar and put it on your face. You take it out the jar, you warm it up in the middle of your hands, emulsify it, break it down, and warm it up. And then once you put it on your skin is like a major sponge. It pulls it on in because it's warm, it feels good, and then it's been broken down. And so when you have product that does not do that, it just sits on top of the skin, and you're like, man, the skin is just not absorbing this, and it's just like, what's happening? The product needs to be emulsified. Okay, so anytime that we are rubbing cleanser onto the skin around, we take the cleanser, we go around and around and around, we are simply emulsifying that cleanser. We're breaking it down so this it can pick up and the skin can receive it. It picks up. It's gonna go clean pores, clean the surface level of the pores, and with your wet towel or however that you remove it, whether it's your cloth, you remove it with water, which is a vehicle. It's a solvent. So we're going to diminish the detergent with the solvent. Examples, ammonium lauryl sulfate. We're talking about these are major ingredients in shampoos and conditioners, or duo shampoo conditioners like 2-in-1, and also cleansers. So our cleansers do not step away. They're not that far from shampoos. Please note, cleansers have to be at a certain pH to actually remove oil, sweat, and dirt off of the face. And so sometimes when you have a high pH, or you have a cleanser for oily skin, that cleanser is going to have a high pH. It's going to be strong enough to pull off. That's the only thing it's going to do is pull. But when you have something called like an acid balance cleanser, or it says gentle cleanser, that's going to be somewhere down there by baby shampoo, baby wash. And so you may have to do multiple cleansers, 2 to maybe 3 cleansers to remove whatever you're going to remove, but you still keep the skin in great, you preserve the skin. When you have a high pH, the high pH only knows to pull. You have to replace what is stripped. Okay. We look at delivery systems. They're vehicles, liposomes, and polymers. Okay. Vehicle, just like water, it travels. You're gonna travel. You're gonna have a ingredient that's going to travel. It's gonna get to the hair, skin, and nails through water. Okay. The liposomes are the creams, oils, but then you have polymers. This is what a polymer does. And I can give the example of just hair. If I was getting if I was coloring someone's hair, okay? If I was coloring someone's hair and I have multiple processes to do, I'm gonna take them to the bowl, I rinse it out, I may shampoo their hair. I would not put my creamy, feel good conditioner on till I'm absolutely done coloring, okay? Because what polymers do, most conditioners have polymers in it. So polymers also are in moisturizers. So what happens is you use polymers at the end of the service. Okay. When polymers are used in the beginning or the middle of the service, polymers close It wraps itself around, it closes the cuticle, it makes something smooth. It says, hey, it's a wrap. We're ready to style. We're ready for makeup. We're ready to go. Polymers close the surface down. Okay. And so if I have used the steam to open up the pores, I don't need polymers to close it until I'm done putting everything I need inside of that pore. And so we use the moisturizers at the end of the facial. And so a lot of times products that we're using, creamy products, it will probably only be the moisturizer and the cleanser. Everything else, I have like a liquid component or a gel component that you're using in the middle, because all of those are, we need that delivery vehicle to get all of those key ingredients to wherever we're treating on the skin. And we're not using polymers until we close it up. And so most moisturizers, light, fluffy, creamy, even a little heavy, have polymers in it. And polymers go and seal the cuticle, and it prepares the skin or hair or nails for the final look. So whether you're going to do makeup afterwards, whether you're going to do styling afterwards, whatever. But polymers is going to close up something, and they're usually at the end of the service in examples of shampoo and moisturizers. Now, and you could have moisturizers in your toners, but it should be liquid. Okay, so you're still hydrating the skin. You're giving it a little, little love, but you're not completely closing the cuticle. And so that's where your toners come in. You use that toner throughout the facial as well. Examples, emollients, more oils, micro sponges. We're talking about creams and water. Here's another one when it comes to preservatives, when individuals would say they want our natural, you ever heard them say sulfate free? So most of the time when they're saying sulfate free, their cleansers are not going to give a bubble, or if they're not going to give any kind of reaction. If they do give a reaction of a foam, it'll be very, very light. All right, so these cleansers and shampoos will be called sulfate free. You will have to use more of it to really cleanse those particular areas. But you do have individuals who are very concerned about other chemicals, and so they will like sulfate free. And so when you usually have sulfate free, they also have preservative free as well. Okay, and so preservatives are added to all cosmetics to keep germs out. So new germs, microbes do not grow in the products. Also, it keeps, if water touches the product, it helps eliminate the growth of fungi and bacteria. So same things, germs. Preservative also give a shelf life of the products. And so you may say, if I make a cleanser today versus one you buy in the store, the cleanser today, mine may last, depending on what product I use, it may last 30 days. Okay. If I build a soap, I tell them the soap is only going to be good for 3 months. Okay. Because I made it. Some soaps are good for 6 months, but 3 to 6 months. If you have it and you buy it over the counter, a shampoo, a cleanser, facial cleanser, it may have a shelf life of 2 years. Okay. And sometimes a year on top. And so those are preservatives that allows you to use that product, that product can sit on the shelf and it can be used at any given time. Okay. Those are preservatives. Antimicrobials, antioxidant, chelating agents. Chelating agents are like strippers. Okay. Examples of ingredients: urea, parabens, quantum 15, which makes your conditioner or your moisturizer very fluffy and creamy. Your parabens are like oils, things that may coat the skin or the hair. And then urea, it's also, make sure I say this. This is one reason why for a long time I stopped putting Victoria's Secrets on my skin, I can't stand all that stuff on my skin anyway. I break it out. Okay, so a lot of people confuse urea with urine, and it is not urine, but it's a composition. It's a part of urine, but it is not fully urine. And so a lot of times just by knowing that, and then when you see it on your products or your cosmetics, you gotta be like, hold on, what? Okay. And they even have myths about urine helping with skincare and things of that nature. So whenever I see it, I'm just like, I don't know. You know, even though I know how the ingredients are listed, I'm like, I don't know. But in this case, it is used as a preservative. And then there's fragrances. There's natural and synthetic fragrances. So synthetic perfumes and plant essential oils. I'm a fan of plant essential oils. I like it all natural. Okay. Synthetic perfumes, you can smell alcohol in them sometime, and then your products will pick that up as well. So you have a cream with synthetic perfume, smells amazing when you put it on, but could cause an adverse reaction, could be irritable to the skin, but also it that alcohol pulls through could be drying to the skin as well. So that product was good just for the smell, but after a while, it didn't do any treatment to the skin because you still got to go back and put something on to moisturize the skin. So that's fragrances. So they can be, you got to watch your fragrances that you're putting in your products. It could take all of, it could mute all of your benefits of the product. Color agents, you have certified micas, exempt, and lakes. I try not to use products with a zinc oxide. I can use a mica color. It does not do anything additional to the products. But normally I would use like a plant base to get my color from instead of something on the outside. So food coloring, things like that, I don't really like to use those. Thickeners, this is where emulsifying polymers come in again because remember they're found in things that are creamy. And so lipids, you have thick oils, emulsifiers, thick conditioners, polymers, conditioners, moisturizers. They can be synthetic as well. Okay. Minerals, just like how if I could bring it home, kind of like making gravy. So synthetic polymers, we just have to add two things together and it makes it look like something. Um, but you have cilia, sterile alcohol, Xanax gum. These things are thickeners. It can make your color thicker, make your cleanser thicker, make some of the products that you use thicker instead of thin. Okay, so these products are not runny. A lot of times you may find these in let's say this one product company, ESTHETICS. You have the facials. Um, man, we had so many of them. The jelly mask. So you can find some key thickeners in those particular products as well. So over a period of time, it just continues to thicken up. And I think the jelly mask, you got about 4 minutes from mix from water added to application. And then you have pH adjusters. They are buffers. So these buffers are amazing. A lot of times in skincare, we talk about buffers when we talk about chemical peels and things of that nature. But buffers balance the pH. Buffers will also come in and be that moisturizer to the skin. That moisturizing element if a product is too high on the pH scale. So if its job is to pull get you where you need to go, but it doesn't deliver any moisture to the skin, then you may add something like a buffer. Citric acid, baking soda, the sodium bicarbonate, those are considered buffers. And so we add them foods. We also add them to cleansing products, shampoos, and things of that nature. So it helps adjust the pH. Now, in chemicals, we do add buffers to bleach, lighteners. If I was teaching someone about bleaching techniques and they wanted to go to the lightest blonde, and they just had powder bleach, I would say that's we need to add some buffer to it. And the buffer would be give the conditioner to the hair as the hair would move up the different levels. And so for us on skincare, when we use buffers, we may use a buffer behind an acid peel, an enzyme, just to kind of give more nourishment and neutralization to the skin after chemical peels. And some chemical peels adjust naturally. And then you have solvents. Okay, you're talking about alcohol, water. They're gonna break down everything. Okay, um, isopropyl alcohol. Um, and here's the thing about alcohol: you may hear about it, but a lot of our cosmetics need alcohol, different types of alcohol in them. Okay, in order for them to do what they're supposed to be doing and to stay consistent. And so we have it in hairsprays all the way down. All forms of alcohol to me can be drying, so I would choose the best ones depending on what we're using them for. Okay. When you look at water, um, aqua water normally listed, if it's listed as the first thing on the ingredient, is more water. In that on the ingredient list is more water in that product than anything else. All right. So sometimes the aqua being the first thing, it deters me because I'm like, where are the active ingredients? And if you're marketing this is a loaded avocado, aloe vera scrub, and I don't see it. I see it close to the bottom of the ingredients. I'm not going to purchase that because it's kind of like misleading a lot because it is not close to the top of the list. So it's not a lot of that ingredient in that product. And some, I think it says if it's 1%, it doesn't have to be in order. So it may be a minimum of 1% of that product may be aloe vera, that's an avocado. And maybe I was purchasing it because I saw aloe vera and avocado and I know the benefits. But I would get that product home and not even, it won't be successful because it's only giving me a little bit of what I absolutely need. Okay. When we look at emollients also, we have the difference between oils and silicones. And when we coat, it coats. I'm going to pause here because I need to go into the textbook at this point because I want to show you the levels, this system on about oils. Just something for us to look at. And always keep in mind. Remember, this is being recorded, so we can always have a fast track to it. Okay, I'm opening up the textbook because there's something in here I want you to see. I'm going to come back and share the screen in one moment. Let me pull it up first. Almost there. All right, so we're back. I wanted to show you this component here. It's going to be on your page 206. Main types of ingredients and product formulation. You look at the main thing. Like I said, when you see water, I look for it is either the first one, it's gonna be the first or second, maybe even a third, but I look for it being within the first two and three. Okay. Functional and performance. Now, water has some great benefits. It's going to deliver. Okay. Everything has to go through water. So it's like a lot of products, a lot of foods, a lot of everything has some type of water content in them. But most of them start from a basis of water. So it does have some benefit, but I don't look for the product being majority water. Okay. It's a functional ingredient. It helps other ingredients in the solution and acts as a vehicle to have spread products across the skin. So you need it because it's a vehicle, it's a transporter. It's going to help me get the vitamin E where I need it. Most of the time, I do like products that don't contain water, and most of the time, those products are going to be oil-based products. Okay, oil-based products. Oil-based products that don't contain water. You got things like lip balms. I like using aloe vera water instead of water. And if I'm ever making like rose water or some like a flower water, I'm gonna use distilled water. Okay. And because it gives me just a longer longevity. If I use tap water, the metals and different things that's in the water can cause the rose water to turn black. And so I want to keep the pretty colors of the roses. So I would take roses, put them in a pot, and I would pour distilled water in. And when the roses are turned white and all the color has been pulled off of the roses, now we have rose water. Okay. And that water stays real pretty pink and red for a longer time. And so I love using water as toner base or the base of that particular product that I just infuse, but I don't like using it for anything water. You know, oil and water just don't mix. So when it comes to lip balms, and then also instead of using water, I like to use aloe vera. Aloe vera actually is the base of a lot of toners. That's an ancient Chinese secret. It's the base of a lot of toners. So I like to use aloe vera leaf water. It is one of when you can find it, it's gotten a little expensive, but when you can find it, you know, you're good. I like because aloe vera has so many benefits and properties that help benefit the skin and the body. So a lot of I don't buy juice. So you're in Walmart, like, oh, there's some aloe vera water I can use to make a product. No, aloe vera juice is normally what you'll see in retail stores, but you need aloe vera leaf water. Okay. And that's one of the bases for a lot of products that you will be making in the salon or spa. You have your emollients, you have your lipids. That's what I wanted to share with you again. So if you look here at figure 6.4, you see how thick the emollient is, and then there's trapped water, and then we have our skin. Okay. The ultimate job is to make sure that this water also hydrates the skin and gets to where it's supposed to be. All right. So a lot of times when we would tone, I would just tone and just pat the water in and let our skin just naturally absorb it. We would not go back on top of it with like petroleum base because it just sticks. It stops the production of anything else. And so when you're looking at products, lubricating, different serums and things like that, make sure they're performance serum, performance ingredients that move with you and don't just cause things to just stop. Okay. Um, when you look at lipids, it says some come from natural sources and others are synthesized. So they're synthetic in a laboratory or derived from other oils or other fatty materials. They sit on top of the skin and prevent dehydration. So when your parents, grandparents always told you petroleum jelly is, they put that on your face and say, hey, I don't know about you, but that was a thing for us. I used to hate it because we were really shiny, but it literally clogged your pores. It has not a benefit at all to the skin. It just stops things, it clogs things. And so if we can find products that would substitute in place of those petroleums, we'll be doing all right. Okay. And so this where serums come in, they're lighter and they help mix well. This is where our water-based moisturizers come in. They come in to maintain hydration of the skin. And no one wants to have something on their skin that feels really heavy. And so we want to make sure that even with our oils or emollients or property products that we're using, that we don't have that strong oil base, petroleum base. Okay. Liquid paraffin is an example of an emollient. When we look at oils, many individuals may say, hey, I have oily skin, so I can't use oil on the skin. Yes, you can. When you're waxing, there's an oily cleanser. Okay. There's oil for all skin types. All right. So many individuals use oily cleansers as well. Okay. So oils formulated into cosmetics, I'm going to highlight here. We're going to bring it in yellow. May vary in density, fat content, and heaviness from very light to extremely rich and heavy. So that's what we always have to keep a watch for. Light, anything light and fluffy that's going to give brand newness to the skin, those are going to be products you want to be drawn to. Okay. As we look at this chart here, this is the money chart. All right. It's the comedogenic rating. All right. Comedogenic rating. So on one end, you have the scale. The scale is 0 to 5, all right? 0 to 5. 0 will not clog pores. 1, it's a low percentage of clogging pores. 2, moderately low. 3, a moderate chance it will clog the pores. 4, fairly high that it will. And 5, high, okay? So honestly, when we're looking at oils and serums to use and we're building, even making products, we want to look at numbers 0 to 1. 2 is pushing, okay? We know that the lower the number, okay, is non-comedogenic. The lower the number, this does not clog pores. The lower the number, it would not cause breakouts, not cause pimples, not cause irritations. That's going to be the key because clients will come in and say, this product broke me out, and you're gonna be like, impossible. I use arganol. And this is another reason why some of the oils that are 0-1 are very expensive, can be expensive because of the richness of the oils. And so you're looking at 0-1, 2 is pushing it, okay, but you can use 2. It's still low, but it's moderately low. All right. And so when you look at products that are 3, 4, and 5, like I can look at 5 at the bottom, it says wheat germ oil. That is something I cannot use on the face. When I see that as an ingredient in my cleanser, it may be a possibility my client may have an irritation or may have an issue from using the cleanser. Usually the cleanser supposed to clean it, it ain't supposed to break it out. But if you have an oil in there that is high on the comedogenic list, it can clog the pore, which causes a breakout. Okay, so we don't want anything to clog the pores. We want things to want to clear those pores out. So oil, sweaty dirt, new hair, new skin, whatever we need to get to the root can do what it has to do, flow up and down without any issues. So wheat germ oil is a 5. It's going to cause some comedogenic breakouts. And cocoa butter is a 4. Okay, so it's high. All right, let's go. I'm going up. Palm oil is a 4, and a lot of homemade soaps use palm oil. All right, so I make homemade soap, but I don't use palm oil. Okay, and you will not find it in any of my cleansers or anything like that. Flaxseed oil is a 4. Okay, coconut oil is a 4. So you already have a list of oils I'm absolutely not going to use on the face. Or if I see these in any type of cleansers and moisturizers, it's a done deal. I'm not purchasing it. I'm not putting it on my clients because it has a high rate of possibly causing clogged pores, pimples, breakouts. And that's coconut oil, flaxseed oil, wheat germ oil, and palm oil. I'm not using it. Okay. When we look at what's a three, I don't, oh, linseed oil is a four. We're not going to use that. But as we look at the zeros, hemp oil, okay. Hemp oil is good, which raises another reason why CBD products are continuously at the top of the list. Okay. We're booming with CBD products. That CBD, I've witnessed it. Cleansers, I love CBD and moisturizers. Let's put it like that. When I was introduced to CBD based skincare, I saw it in moisturizers. And these young ladies were in the class and they were 67 years old. They had the décolleté, and they were putting this cream. And the woman said she could not keep it in stock. It was maybe 2 ounces, $60, but it was a really nice cream. And she showed her before and after of her neck and her décolleté area, just how it improved, lighter and tighter. Okay, so that is hemp seed oil, which is a branch of CBD THC products. Okay, calendula oil is a one. And some people will say calendula and some people say it's calendula. All right. So you have both of those pronunciations, but it comes from a sunflower. All right. It is sunflower category. It's a sister to like a sunflower. And then you have sunflower oil as well. It's a two. It's still moderate low, but I would like to still follow within, use oils that are within 0 and 1. Shea butter is a 0. Avocado oil is a 2. It has great benefits for the skin. So my whole product would not be based off of avocado oil, but it'll have a little bit. Neem oil is a 1. It does not smell good at all, but it is non-comedogenic. It's great for the skin. Safflower oil is 0. Rose hip oil is 1. It is one that I would use forever. Roses are great for hydrating the skin, but rose hip oil goes great with a lot of plants, a lot of essential oils, and it's like it's a rejuvenating, it's like a reversal of aging for the skin. So that's rose hip oil. You'll find almond oil in a lot of body oils as well, but argan oil is a go-to. It's a thicker, non-clogging, but when I tell you it can be a little on the pricey side, rose hip is well on the pricey side. Um, Neem oil, yes, with the way it smells. Evening primrose oil smells amazing. You can find it in essential as well. It's a 2. So there are certain tools I use, and I preferably would like 0 to 1. Okay. Almond oil is a 2. It is a great like carrier oil. So I would use it to blend essential oils. But when we're looking at product mixing, make sure you have your comedogenic chart in the back of your head, and when you see these ingredients, you know what they're capable of. All right. We're going to prepare to close out. I'm going to pick up in this particular chapter, but 208 is where I'm going to pick up, where it talks about our fatty alcohols, lipids, silicones are going to flow right there with our serums. They also become vehicles to get premium ingredients where they need to go in the skin. Okay. So when we're talking dimethicone, these are going to be in the serum, thicker serum base. So vitamins are used with these silicones to get to different areas of the skin. So a lot of time vitamin E needs a vehicle. And so the vehicle would be a silicone. All right. And so you can warm them up. Once they warm up, they become very thin, and then the skin can absorb them. And silicones are great for the skin. Um, it gives life to the skin. Okay. So it gives that extra shine on top of the hydration. So I absolutely love it. So I'm going to pick up on 208, 209 types of surfactants. send it over to you. And then Monday and Tuesday, we'll be over into chapter 6 and 7. So closing up 6, over into 7, introing into facial treatments, chapter 8. So next week is all about coming out of one, going into another, and it won't take a long time for us to do that. I just want to share that with you. We are recording, so if you miss anything, it'll be on our YouTube page. Okay.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
You
Have a
too.
great
Bye
evening.
bye.
Bye bye.